everything in business changes when you're able to turn new email subscribers into buyers. For one, you're able to more aggressively do any traffic and lead generation activities that you're up to. And just as importantly, you're then also able to focus on maximizing your customers' lifetime value with back-end products, upsells, cross-sells, and so on and so forth. The big problem is that most people don't know how to turn a new email subscriber into a buyer. They don't know, for example, how many emails to send, how often to send those emails, and when to make their offer. And that's what I want to explain how to do in this video. So first of all, the most common question that I get regarding these email sequences is, how many emails should I send? And the other question is, when should I make my offer? And the answer to that, really the answer to both questions is it depends on the offer and the type of client that you have. Really, it depends on the state of awareness of your prospect. Let me give you an example. So say if you have a $2,000 information product, that requires a lot more warming up of the prospect in order for them to make a buying decision. There are a lot more objections to overcome, and you have to build a lot more trust in you and in the product itself. Then, say on the other hand, it would take for an impulse type purchase, like for, I don't know, a food item or some other consumable product, a toothbrush, Bluetooth headphones, anything of that sort, where if the price point is low enough, say $10, maybe even as high as $20, and in some certain niches, like business niches, maybe up to as high as even $99 or $100. But most of the time, for most of the general public, you would be looking at lower price points, say below the $20 mark, where we're really talking about an impulse purchase. So in that sort of situation, actually oftentimes you don't even need to send a single email before you can offer a new subscriber your product. What you can do in this sort of situation is, once they've signed up on the thank you page that they land on, say they've landed on your landing page, they sign up for your lead magnet, on the thank you page you can actually thank them for signing up, tell them to go check their inbox, or tell them that their download or whatever the lead magnet was will arrive in 5 to 10 minutes, and in the meantime to watch the rest of this video or read the rest of this page because it has some really important information on it. Now what you can do in this scenario is actually make the pitch for your tripwire offer, for your initial low dollar offer, without a single email going out pitching the offer or warming up the client. And again, this only works in those scenarios where we're talking about an impulse type purchase, low dollar value. People don't have to use a lot of logic in terms of making the decision. It really is just emotional, hence being an impulse purchase, right? So if you're in that, say, $5 to $20 range, it's a great idea to test an offer like this, because if you can get that working, then immediately before you've even sent an email, you might be able to get a positive ROI on your advertising spend. Now, the next thing that you can do with a low dollar offer, and then with a lot of offers that are sort of in a middling range, where we're not talking about hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but for the majority of markets, maybe from that $20 range up to about $100, would be send a sequence of about 3 emails in length, where really you're just pitching the offer, and you're giving people different reasons to take you up on this offer. This will also work quite well a lot of the time for offers. Say you make your offer, your tripwire offer, on the thank you page. It's a $5 to $20 offer. Not everyone's going to take that offer, so of course you follow up, and you continue to offer them the exact same thing in the first, say, 3 emails. More than that, it can be a little too promotional, and you don't really have to go farther than that. If they haven't bought it after those 3 emails, it's time to talk about something else. Time to give them some more value, some more content, etc. Okay, so where was I? So for these mid-range offers, you can do the same sort of 3 email sequence as your initial test. Now, it's not a guaranteed fact that in every single market this offer is going to work. Depending on your audience, depending on their state of awareness, the problems that they have, you might need to provide more value up front, you might need to build more trust up front before they're going to take you up on this initial offer. But at the very least, when you're just getting started, a good thing to do is test and see how quickly you can get that return on investment. So if you can get people buying in email 1, then you know immediately that you don't have to write a 10 email sequence. This is much more effective than writing a 10 email sequence, having nobody buy because it's too long, having people lose interest, having people lose, just fall off, and then having to go back to the drawing board, start again, and doing something like a shorter email sequence. So the most effective route is to start with the minimal number of emails before making your pitch that will allow you to test the system. So I would recommend a 3 email sequence, and then going from there. Say if people aren't buying with those 3 emails, then you would probably expand that into adding more content up front and pushing the offer back. Now, this is sort of then also what will happen with higher dollar offers, say from, depending on the market again, from $50, maybe from $100, all the way up to thousands of dollars, multiple thousands of dollars. And these sorts of sequences tend to have a lot of content up front, a lot of teaching and training up front to show why you're the right person to help, to show people that they can get some results. That is, with your initial trainings, you should be getting them some results in advance. That is, before you ever ask them to make a purchase from you. Especially with very, very high ticket items, you always want to make sure the clients have gotten some results and they're hungry for more before you ask them to pay you. So these sequences can obviously range from maybe just a couple emails, 5, 6 emails, all the way up to 15 emails. I've seen sequences that go up into the 20s and even low 30s in terms of the number of emails. It all depends on your market and how much they need in order to make the sale. Now, if you're just getting started, you don't need to plan out a 20 email long sequence. That's too much, it's not necessary. But if you're looking in that, say, 7 to 11 or 12 range, say now we're talking $1,000, $2,000, and you have lots of awesome information and training that you can actually give in those initial emails, then you're probably looking in roughly the right ballpark. But again, it really comes back to knowing your audience and how much you need to share with them in order for them to make a sale. So actually the best way of going about this isn't thinking about how many emails should I write and then thinking, well, what should I put in each email? But it's thinking about what does my prospect need to hear and need to believe in order to purchase my product. So what are their top 3 to 5 objections, and how are you going to overcome those objections? Why are you the most credible person to teach them this? Why is your product so valuable and important? What really sets you apart from everyone else in the market? These are the sorts of questions that you should be able to answer, and combine this with some sort of intriguing storytelling in your emails that will both entertain and engage and give people that sense of positive expectancy when they buy your product. So I hope that clears up at least a little bit how to go about creating your first email sequences. And really, if you go through this exercise and you really do understand your prospects, then you should be able to get a positive ROI from your initial email sequences and really set your business alight and start focusing on your back-end sequences and scaling up your traffic and so on. So I hope that helps. Please, any questions or comments, leave them below this video, and I'd be happy to discuss this topic in more detail. See you soon.